Okay, everybody, we're still in section V from Algebra 1, as you can see from my friends there behind me. We're going to look at V.5, which is division with exponents. I did not preview it, so here we go. Let's take a look and see what we got. Well, we're dividing this, and it says to express your answer using only positive exponents. So we're canceling the 3m's with 3 in the denominator, and you have 2 left in the denominator. Lots of ways of looking at that, but that's probably the best way to think of it, is that you're literally taking m times m times m divided by m times m times m times m times m, and 3 of them cancel with giving you 1's multiplied together. And of course, that gives you m squared in the denominator. Notice that that's your positive exponent. Some people will say, well, you don't want to do this. You want to subtract the exponents, giving you m to the 3 minus 5, which is m to the negative 2. But keep in mind, negative exponents mean, I'm sorry, I'm getting some lag. Exponents mean move it across the division line and change the sign. So of course, this is 1 over m squared. So those are the two ways of handling it. Clearly, this would be the more effective, efficient method. This one is more about understanding what the underlying math is saying. So it's 1 over m squared, any way you slice it. Oh, looks like they're going to give me a fraction bar. Oh, dang it, did it again. 1m, oh, man, there. Dang, I'm really slow today. Sorry, guys. M squared, there we go. All right, hopefully this next one's going to go a lot better. Come on, get in there. All right, wow, I spent a lot of time messing around with that. Okay, so this one, I'm going to think of it like this. Z to the 7th, and then we're going to subtract the exponents, but be careful. Remember that when you subtract, you have 7 minus, and this is a negative 2. And a lot of people say, well, how do you know that that's right? Well, remember that you can move the variable across the division line as long as you change the sign. So this means the same as z to the 7th times z squared, which of course is z to the 9th. So two ways of looking at that one. Anyway you slice it, it's z raised to the 9th. There we go. All right, let's look at another one. Hopefully that wasn't too fast. Okay, same deal here. You can think of moving it to the numerator and you end up with p to the 9th times p to the 8th. Or you can think of it as subtracting the exponents, and that gives you that double negative and gives you p raised to the 17th. All right, let's see what we get this time. Come on. Oh, just g to the 4th. We're just going to cancel 4 of those g's with 4 in the numerator. Or subtract the exponents, whatever makes you happy there. This time, the negative 6 gets moved to the numerator, or you subtract the exponents. Either way, you get u to the 8th. Okay, b to the negative 6 if you subtract the exponents, but remember that that means the same as 1 over b to the 6th. Sorry, it looks a little funky there. Cancel 3 of them with 3 in the denominator, however you like to think of it. I'll use my fraction bar here. Come on, b raised to the 6th. There we go. Okay. This time we have to move the p to the negative 6 to the denominator. And so this gets moved, and then, of course, when you move it across the division line, you change the sign. So this is the same as 1 over p to the 6th times p to the 4th, which is 1 over p to the 10th. If you like, we could think of it as p to the negative 6 minus 4, and that's the way some people think of this. I'm subtracting, so I'm dividing, so I have to subtract the exponents, and that is p to the negative 10, which of course is 1 over p to the 10th. That looks good. Come on. Here we go. All right, I'm coming up on my 5 minutes. I'm going to try and finish up as fast as I can. It's going to be 1 over d to the 10th. Oops, dang it. Dang it. Dang it. There. Keep doing that. D raised to. I'll start again. 1 over d raised to the 10th. There. Kind of slow today. All right, let's see if we can get a better one this time. Something a little more interesting. A little bit. Remember, anything to the 0 power is 1, so this is just c to the 8th divided by 1. Well, remember that a 1 in the denominator has no effect because you're dividing by 1, so it's c to the 8th. This one, oh, negatives in both areas. I like these. I'm going to switch them. So I'm going to move this one to the numerator, and I'm going to move the other one to the denominator and change the signs. So I have m over m squared, which is 1 over m. Lots of ways to think of it, but there you have it. 1 over m. Done. I like moving the negatives. You're going to find why that's so effective. So like in this particular case, I have a k to the negative 1, which gets moved to the numerator, and you end up with k squared. I think it's easier to understand what's happening because the negative exponent tells you you're looking at a reciprocal. And the same thing here, except this time we're moving them to the denominator. It's going to be 1 over t squared, of course. There we go. Oh man, I'm taking forever. Sorry, guys. Anyway, I'm sure you all are finished by now. So you just move it to the denominator. Remember, there is a 1 there, even though you don't see it. So it's going to be 1 over z to the 10th power. Oops. Dang it. Did it again. Man, when I mess up, I really mess up. There we go. Z raised to the 10th. There it is. That looks like it. Okay. R to the 3rd, because the R to the 0, remember, is 1, and then we move the numerator, move the denominator to the other side, becomes positive, or we change the sign, and that, of course, is 1 times R cubed. Well, hopefully we'll get a more interesting one soon. Never know. R to the 7th, not really. See if we get a better one here. Okay, c to the 9th. Again, I'm just moving it from the denominator to the numerator, which gives me c raised to the 9th. One more extra c in the numerator being multiplied together. Let's see. Oh, 1 over 1 is 1. A lot of people are going to go, well, wait a minute. A to the 0 minus 0 is a to the 0. Yeah, sure is. It's 1. Done. 1 and done. All right, this one's going to be move the w to the negative 1 to the numerator and change its sign, and you just get w. Hopefully, I don't have to go through those anymore. It's going to be h to the 6th. It looks like it's going to get easier now, thankfully. I have trouble writing the fractions for some reason. Oh, there we go. A few more. Let's see how quickly we can get these done. Ah, I like these. Okay, so some of you maybe skip ahead in the video, and I should remind you guys to do that. Okay, so I'm going to move the C and the D. I'm going to keep the B to the 5th where it is, and I am going to move the C to the denominator and the D to the denominator, and I'm going to keep everything else there. B to the 0, I really didn't need to write it. C to the 5th and the D to the 0. So these are just 1, and so I end up with b raised to the 5th in the numerator, and I have a c to the 6th and a d squared. And there it is. From now on, I'm not going to write any of my know what, I should put the fraction. There we go. B raised to the 5th. And in the denominator, we have a C raised to the 6th. And got to hit it again. Nope. Not sure what to do about that. Maybe it'll, no. No. There it is. Oh, I had it. There it is. No. There. I had it. I had it. Dang, it's hard to control here. Dang, every time I get it, and then it, because of the lag, I forget. D raised to second. I said second. There. All right, so I'm going to erase it so you can see it. Sorry, guys. I couldn't seem to get it to go down there. B to the 5th over C to the 6th, D to the 2nd. Yeah, there it is. Dang, I'm over the 10-minute limit. Crazy. Okay, well, hopefully I'll get a good one this time. Not especially, but it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel that q in the numerator with the q in the denominator, with the q squared in the denominator, which gives me just a single q in the denominator. And this r gets moved to the numerator. So I have r over q. R, q, done. Notice I'm moving the negatives. That's really, it's really helpful. So you see in my head, I move the j to the 4th to the numerator. So I have j to the 9th times j to the 4th. I'm just moving this j to the negative 4 to the numerator. The k squared gets moved to the denominator. I have a k, which is to the 1st, of course. That's k to the 1st. And then I also have the k squared that I moved there. And change the sign, and then we're done. We have j to the 13th over k to the 3rd. That's all. Easy cheesy. J raised to the 13th over k raised to the 3rd. And there you have it. Let's see. Did I mess it up? No, I didn't think so. Okay, so in this one, I'm going to do a couple of things. First, I'm going to cancel that s to the 5th and that s to the 7th and have an s squared in the numerator. So it's just going to cancel those guys out. I got an s squared. That t to the negative 1, I'm going to move it to the numerator, and it's going to give me t squared in the numerator. And so that's gone, and so is the t. And then I have the u's, and they're going to switch positions first, and then I'm going to cancel one of them. So you can think of it however you like, but I'm going to go ahead and put the u in the numerator, the u to the 6th in the denominator. Remember, we're just going to switch them places and change their signs. And of course, this u cancels out and gives me u to the 5th in the denominator. So we have s squared t squared over u to the 5th. It is so easy to make errors with these. And I think the best method is not to do that double negative subtraction, but rather move the negatives and change the sign. All right, so move it across the division line and change that sign. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to put the fraction bar first. Fraction bar first. S squared. And let's see if I can get it to work. I'm going to get my, let's see. Nope. No, come on. Darn it, it does not want to go where I want it. Okay, let's put one in the denominator, see if I can fix it after that. 5th, and I still need, I guess I could put t squared right there. And let's see what happens. That's kind of weird, but okay, let's see if it likes it. Okay, it did. I put it out in front. All right, we have a q to the 0 and a q to the negative 7. So I'm going to move the q to the 7th to the numerator. So here it is, q to the 7th. I just moved these guys up and ignored the 0. I have an r in the numerator, but I have an r cubed in the denominator. So I have 2 left in the denominator. The r cancels with the r cubed. The s's just cancel each other out. I'm done. And I have q raised to the 7th over r squared. There it is. And let's see, do we have any more? Dang, 15 minutes. Sorry it took so long, but these are so fun. All right, ignore those zeros. I'm going to move my p squared up and get p to the 9th in the numerator. There it is. It's going to go to there. My q to the 0 is gone. It's just a 1, and the s to the 0 is just a 1. Now, I still have a q to the 8th in the denominator, still there. My r gets moved to the denominator. See that r to the -1 gets moved to the denominator and becomes r to the 4th because it's getting multiplied. If you can't see it very well, there's an r to the -1 up there, and I just moved it to the denominator with that r cubed. The s needs to get moved to the denominator as well. Man, that's going to be hard to type in. Oh well, there it is. It is s to the 1st if you like. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to put my eraser on and see what I can do. I've got p raised to the 9th. That's not so bad. Now the bottom is going to give me trouble, but I'm going to do the s first. S, and then I'm going to multiply it by r raised to the 4th. And here's where I have my problem. Nope. Can't, I got to leave it in the denominator. Oh, darn, there it is. Got it. And then I have the q raised to the 8th. Now, normally I would leave them in alphabetical order because that's normally how we write it. It's just it was easier for me to manipulate them that way. Okay, last one. Maybe one more. Oh, maybe two. Who knows? All right. We've got an s to the 50th, but there's an s in the numerator. There's an, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and write it out so you can see it better. As long as I'm going to take the time, I might as well do it right. Okay, so I have an s to the 50th. There is an s in the numerator, and I'm going to go ahead and put the 1 with it. Now I have a t to the -9 right here. In case you can't see it, I'm going to put it in the numerator and change its sign. I also have a t to the -1. I'm going to put it in the denominator, and it's really t to the 1st now. The u to the 0 is just u, is just 1, sorry. And the u's get moved, and there are 84 of them being multiplied together. So we're almost done. The t cancels with the 9, t to the 9th, which gives me t to the 8th in the numerator. And the s cancels with the s to the 50th and gives me s to the 49th. So we end up with t to the 8th, u to the 84th, over s to the 49th. I just want to mess with you with big numbers. So we've got a fraction, we've got t raised to the 8th, and then I'm going to multiply it. You know what? I'm just going to put it out in front. U raised to the 84th. It didn't seem to mind if I did that before. And I have an s raised to the 49 in the denominator. What I did is I wrote it out in front. Keep in mind that this is the same as long if I put the u out in front of it. So it works because the u is still considered to be in the numerator. Should be okay. Come on. There, it should be fine. Oh, two more. Okay. Let's do it in our heads. I'm going to write it. M to the 92, n to the -2, over m to the -1, n to the 6th. Can you do it in your head now? I'll bet you can. You see, you move this guy down, and you get n to the 8th in the denominator. And you move this guy up, and you get m to the 93rd. That's it. You see how nice it is to move things? A lot of people want to do that subtraction business, but no, better to move it. Let me do my fraction first. M raised to the 93, and we have an n raised to the 8th. That looks right. Okay, last one. Man, 20 minutes. Took a long time. All right, I'm going to write it all out for you. A to the -8, b to the -9, just so you can see it. C to the 4th, all over. A to the -6, b to the 52, c to the -1. What I'm going to do is I'm going to recommend that people go to the very last question so that they can see how to do the really hard ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all the negative exponents to the other side of the division line and change all their signs, because a negative exponent means a reciprocal. So these a's are going to switch positions. I'm going to have an a to the 6th in the numerator because it's going to get moved. There it is. And I'm going to have an a to the 8th in the denominator. Now I could cancel those in my head, but I'm just going to do that. Now I have a b to the -9, and that's going to go in the denominator. It needs to get moved, but the b to the 52nd stays where it is. So when those multiply together, we add the exponents and get b to the 61st. Now this c to the -1 gets moved because it has a negative exponent, and we end up with a c to the 4th times a c to the 1st in the numerator. So there it is. So hopefully that all makes sense to you, and we end up with the 6 a's cancel with 6 of these and give us a squared in the denominator. And of course we have a c to the 5th power in the numerator. And it looks like that's, oh, and my b raised to the 61 power. So it looks like we have c to the 5th all over a squared b to the 61. And I like that one. You know, it's good practice. Anyway, that is the last one. So putting the answer in, I have a c to the 5th. Let me make sure I can see it here. Over a squared b to the 61. When I go to submitting it, it covers it up. You can see. We have c raised to the 5th power. Oh, dang it, I need a fraction. Let's do the fraction first. Fraction. C raised to the 5th. Now here's where I have a little trouble before. I'm going to go ahead and put in the a squared. But now it's a little hard to get this thing to adjust at this point. Oh, darn, I had it. Come on. I'm getting a little lag. I think that's why. Okay, I'm going to erase all this and use my eraser so I can see where I'm pointing. No, there it is. Dang it. I have this little tiny bit of lag, and then I see it, and then I click on it again. All right, so there it is, b raised to the 61. And there it is. We're going to get our mastery medal. I hope you guys will do the same, and have a nice day, and practice your exponents. I'll see you back again. Bye.